If you want to capture those sharp, crisp product photos, but you're not really sure how to adjust your ISO, aperture, or your shutter speed whenever you're shooting product photos, in this video, I'm going to make this a little bit simpler for you because I know it can get complicated or overwhelming in the beginning. All right, so the first step is always make sure that you have a good light source. Without a good light source, it's going to be really hard for your lens to try to focus in and capture those details. In this video, I'm using the Godox SL60W continuous LED light, which I do believe it to be a great light for beginners. Now, I'm going to tell you the same thing that I tell my members inside Kraus Media Academy to make it simple for you to adjust your settings. Whenever you're shooting still images that don't require capturing motion like a splash, then your settings are actually pretty simple to adjust. Now, once I have picked the angle in which I want to shoot from, so this is going to be a straightforward angle, then I'm going to start adjusting my settings. And what I tell my members all the time is when you're shooting still images, my rule is don't go over 200 or under 100 when it comes to your shutter speed and or your ISO. What you want to play around with is actually your aperture. So this will depend on whether you want more in focus or you want to have more of a blurred background. So in this case, I want to have most of this scene in focus, that being the background, also the products. And so for that reason, I'm going to increase my aperture to about 5.6. And as you can see, it gets a little bit darker because less light comes in. However, more will be in focus the higher the aperture. So right now my shutter speed is at 1/160, which I can actually bring down to 1/125 because again, I'm not really capturing motion. So I'm going to keep it between 100 and 125 so I can let in a little bit more light. And my ISO is at 200, which I can also bring down to 160. The overall scene may be looking a little bit dark and you want to achieve that bright photo, right? So here's another tip. Whenever you're shooting your product photos, shoot in RAW format, not in JPEG. Most cameras, even beginner cameras, have the RAW format setting. And the reason why this is so helpful is because when shooting in RAW format, you're able to adjust your exposure, your colors, so much more whenever you're editing in Lightroom than if you are shooting in JPEG. All right, so that is it for today, but I do challenge you to shoot in these settings next time you shoot your next product photo. And do let me know in the comments how it works out.